Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that just might redefine how you think about family, sacrifice, and finding your own voice. It's a powerful, emotional journey about a mother named Cecilia, who, after years of putting everyone else first, finally decided to reclaim her life. This isn't just a story, it's a revelation, and I promise you, you'll want to hear every word. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's get into it. Imagine saying these words, slowly, letting each one hang in the air. You used my money to buy a house, and now your wife and her mother will live there? That's exactly what Cecilia said to her son, David. He shifted uncomfortably, avoiding her gaze. His wife, Monica, was pretending to be busy on her phone, clearly hoping the conversation would just disappear. Neither of them answered, not a single word. Can you imagine that silence? The weight of it. In that moment, Cecilia didn't yell, didn't scream. She just quietly picked up her own phone and dialed a number. The moment she put it on speaker, David's face went white. A calm, professional voice came through. "Good afternoon, Mrs. Lewis," it said. It was Mr. Carter, her lawyer. "I've just finished processing the property documents. Your name has been added as the sole owner, as per your instructions." Monica's jaw literally dropped. David's lips started to tremble. "Mom, what did you do?" he stammered. Cecilia looked at him, her voice calm, clear, and steady. "I took back what was mine." Boom. Silence again. But this time, it was a different kind of silence. A silence of shock, of disbelief. Cecilia then turned off her phone and said, quietly, yet with an undeniable authority, "Now, if you'll excuse me, I'd like you both to leave." They left, in stunned silence. The door closed, and Cecilia stood alone in the middle of her quiet living room. Her heart was racing, but it wasn't fear she felt. It was an overwhelming sense of relief. For the first time in years, she felt like she could finally breathe. Can you imagine the power of that moment? The sheer courage it took? That night, as she sat by the window with a cup of tea, Cecilia thought about the woman she had been for most of her life. A mother who gave endlessly, who worked until her hands ached, who lived only to make her family happy. Sound familiar to anyone out there? But in that quiet moment, a profound realization washed over her. Love, she understood, should never demand you erase yourself. For decades, Cecilia had sacrificed everything. Her time, her energy, her dreams. She had truly believed that being a good mother meant giving without limits, always putting her children's needs before her own. But now, she finally grasped the truth. Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional surrender. It doesn't mean giving until there's nothing left of you. So, in an act of incredible self-compassion, she decided to forgive them. Not because they deserved it, but because she deserved peace. This is such a crucial point, friends. Forgiveness, she learned, wasn't for the people who hurt you. It was for yourself. So you could move on without the heavy burden of resentment weighing you down. It was about her own liberation. Fast forward 6 months. Cecilia was now in Dallas, sitting in the garden of her small rented home. The sun was shining, birds were singing, and for the first time in a long while, she felt truly content. She had lost her children's company. Yes, that was a painful truth. But in doing so, she had found something infinitely more valuable. Herself. She took a sip of her coffee and smiled. In the distance, a neighbor's children were playing. She used to envy scenes like that, wishing for the family life she had always imagined. But not anymore. She had gained something far more precious than external approval. She had gained dignity, self-respect, and a profound sense of peace. Her phone rang. It was her dear friend, Linda, calling for their usual weekly chat. "How are you, dear?" Linda asked warmly. "You sound happier every time I talk to you." Cecilia laughed softly. "I'm better than ever, Linda. You won't believe it. Yesterday I enrolled in a literature course at the university." Linda, in her typical playful way, teased gently. "At your age." Cecilia's reply was full of pride and joy. "Yes, 66 years old, and finally studying something I've always loved. I spent my whole life raising children who never valued me. Now, I'm doing something for myself." Linda chuckled, her voice full of warmth. "I love hearing you like this. You sound alive again." "I am," Cecilia replied, "for the first time in years." After the call, Cecilia sat quietly for a moment, thinking about a question Linda often asked. "Have you heard from them?" She had, indirectly. Sometimes, she'd see photos on social media, parties, vacations, fancy dinners. They looked happy, but Cecilia no longer felt the urge to comment, to try and remind them she existed. Their lives no longer defined hers. Her happiness was now completely her own creation. That night, she wrote in the small diary she had started keeping. "It's strange," she penned, "how the things we think will break us often end up setting us free. I thought losing my children would destroy me. Instead, it saved me. The silence that once terrified me has become my sanctuary. The loneliness that used to sting now feels like peace." Months continued to pass. Cecilia's mornings became simple, yet incredibly full. Coffee in the garden, engrossed in a good book, attending her literature classes, meeting fascinating new friends who shared her passions. She found people who valued genuine conversation over convenience, true friendship over mere obligation, people who saw and appreciated her for who she was, not for what she could provide. Then came her 67th birthday. 4 years. That day had been filled with a quiet, aching wait, waiting for phone calls that never came, messages that never arrived, a feeling of deep disappointment. But not this year. "Happy birthday, Cecilia," her neighbor Hope shouted, carrying a small cake, her smile infectious. Behind her were 3 women from the park, her walking friends. They had organized a small, intimate party for her, filled with music, laughter, and candles that, true to form, refused to blow out easily. As Cecilia looked around the room, tears welled in her eyes, not from sadness, but from overwhelming gratitude. For the first time in decades, she felt genuinely loved. Not for what she gave, not for what she owned, but simply for who she was, for her unique spirit. Later that evening, she wrote in her diary again, "Dear diary, today I turned 67. It's my first birthday without expecting my children's calls, and my first without feeling disappointed. I spent the day surrounded by laughter, and for the first time in so long, I felt seen, appreciated, and truly alive. This is the life I deserve. This is the life I should have always had." She closed the diary and looked out at the moonlit garden. The world, once small and constrained by expectations, now felt wide open again, full of quiet possibilities. Tomorrow, she would attend another literature class, maybe visit the art museum she'd heard so much about, maybe even start writing a story of her own. She wasn't the abandoned mother anymore. She wasn't the woman begging for scraps of love or approval. She was Cecilia Lewis, a complete, vibrant woman living life on her own terms, charting her own course. Before going to bed, she stepped outside into the cool, clear night air. She whispered to the darkness, "Thank you." Not to anyone in particular, just to life itself, for giving her a second chance, for guiding her to this incredible moment of self-discovery. And as she turned off the porch light, a powerful realization crystallized within her. Sometimes, losing everything you thought mattered is the only way to discover what truly does. She had spent a lifetime trying to be the perfect mother, but in the end, she learned that being a fulfilled woman was far, far more important. For the first time in 40 years, Cecilia didn't need anyone's approval. For the first time in 40 years, she was enough. What an incredible transformation, right? Cecilia's story is a powerful reminder that it's never too late to reclaim your power, your peace, and your purpose. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to others' perceptions or demands, but to your own self-respect and the joy you cultivate within your own life. If Cecilia's journey resonated with you, if it sparked something inside you, please hit that like button, share this video with someone who might need to hear it, and subscribe to our channel for more stories of resilience, growth, and finding your true self. We're here to inspire and empower you, and we love having you as part of our community. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.